All right, people, go ahead and get this show on the road. What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this. What's today? The fourth. Yeah, okay. We're well past April Fools, even though with the way these leaders are acting, you wouldn't know it because they're doing some foolish shit. So, but it's April 4th. It's about 4:40 p.m. real time, 3:40 p.m. Eastern time. We got a great show for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about Anthony Blinken's bizarre assertion and announcement that Ukraine will join NATO. He made it clear that that's what's going to happen. Um, we're also going to talk about Ben Shapiro's hypocrisy. We're going to do better. We're actually going to let Ben Shapiro expose his own hypocrisy because it's super easy to do. We're also going to get a little bit into the Angel Reese controversy. I had some people on Twitter ask me to discuss that, and also just people who send me messages and things like that who are interested not only in sports, but obviously at this point, sports, society, politics, it's all kind of intertwined, right? At this point, so we're going to talk a little bit about that because I want to give my personal opinion on it, but I also kind of want to know what you guys think about it. And I think that people regarding Angel Reese are actually talking past each other, and it's not unlike what I've seen when we engage with other issues, like maybe Colin Kaepernick or it's just other social issues where sometimes people actually do agree with each other, but the rhetoric they're using is inflammatory, and they're not actually trying to understand where the other person's coming from. Because, like, maybe y'all do agree, but y'all are not using the same language, right? We talked about that before. How sometimes working class they have their own language, and Ivy League people or people that come from this prestigious um, universities they speak in another language. That's why I feel like it's important for us all to try to understand, even when you can. So that's why I really want to talk about that Andrew Reese situation too before we get up out of here. Get up out of here. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, y'all got to see this clip. This man, Anthony Blinken, has lost his mind. The United States has lost their mind collectively because they just announced. Because before it was, we're going to do what we can to get Ukraine. Maybe we're gonna think about it, we're gonna talk it over, we're gonna mull it over. But it's evolved from that now because whenever you're trying to distract from the failures
that Ukraine has
constantly,
what it
it's
needs.
constantly failing the way the US has been constantly failing. When you try to distract like that, you have a responsibility to start World War III to distract. 'Cause God forbid everybody knows the US is not, they literally have no idea what they're doing right now and they're just playing it by ear. So go ahead and check it out.
Remains rock solid. We will do everything that we can. Allies will do everything that they can to ensure that Ukraine has what it needs to continue to deal with Russia's ongoing aggression against Ukraine, an aggression that gets worse with every passing day. Ukraine will become a member of NATO. Our purpose at the summit is to help build a bridge to that membership and to create a clear pathway for Ukraine moving forward.
Yeah. So, I got this little echo. I got a little echo going on here. It's a super clear echo, but anyway. So the the video is pretty clear. So for those of you who do not know, this is actually today is NATO's 75th birthday. So they had like a little reunion, and at yesterday actually Anthony Blinken actually said this again, but it was through it was being translated. So some people didn't believe that it was actually what it was, but nah, he said it in the day. He reaffirmed that yeah, Ukraine will join NATO on the 75th anniversary of NATO. That's also pretty significant because if those of you who don't know, NATO was founded effectively to crush the USSR because not just the USSR, it's effectively they wanted to crush quote unquote communism But we all know like that really wasn't it. They say it's communism that they're trying to destroy, but what it really is anyone who isn't pro-West and hyper-capitalist to the point of toxicity, which is where we're at right now. We're at a point where like, I hate when people say, and for those of you who don't know, I'm not a communist only because I don't believe any one system can work. I just don't believe it. Every system has to take as a way in, uh, basically what they have available to them, all the resources they have available to them, the people that they have, and apply a system that works and that generally means uh, undertaking a mixed economy, which is common sense, I would say. So I don't like, but here's a problem with that. People lie about communism. Very rarely does anybody lie about capitalism. I mean, unless they're saying that capitalism is great, or they try to say like crony capitalism is the problem. No, but people will say a lie like, "Oh, communism has killed more people than any other form of government or economy," which is like demonstrably false. The Cold War started because of Harry S. Truman, because he didn't want to believe the events that took place at the Yalta Conference. And no, yeah, the Cold War between Russia and the US may not have escalated into physical violence, but everybody forgot what happened the next 30, 40, what, 50 years after the Korean War, the Vietnam War. It was capitalism doing its best to do what? Destroy communists, no matter how many innocent lives had to be taken away in order to achieve that goal. When we went to war with Iraq, at this point, I don't think anyone is under any sort of delusionment as to why we went to war. We went to war because of oil. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but when we boil it down, we went to war because of oil. Why are we going after Syria? Because of oil and money. Why do we let Saudi Arabia do whatever the hell they want to, fund terrorist organizations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because of oil and money? Why did we overthrow the democratically elected president of Iran, the first democratically elected president of Iran, and have been trying to control the government ever since? Because of oil, because of money, right? Because capitalism cannot exist unless it is eliminating competition. That's just facts. Capitalism cannot exist unless it is doing its best to eliminate competition. The greatest lie about capitalism is that uh, is that it promotes competition. It's just not a free market capitalist society. It's just a crony capital. Ladies and gentlemen, I got some bad news for you. That's capitalism in a nutshell. There's never been a time in society where capitalism has not been corrupted, quote unquote, by crony capitalism. At a certain point, you just have to accept that is capitalism. That is the end game every single time. So that's why NATO was created, was to crush crush communism, because after World War II, though there was already an understanding that the two great juggernauts of economics and government were going to be capitalism, as defined by the West and the US, and communism, as defined by Russia and led by Russia and its allies. So on the 75th anniversary of NATO, at a meeting for the 75th anniversary of NATO in Brussels, they announced that Ukraine is absolutely going to join NATO. Y'all, I'll be honest with you. NATO can't survive joining Ukraine. Excuse me, Ukraine can't survive joining NATO. Hell, maybe the other way around too. But Ukraine cannot survive joining NATO. They can't. Do you know that just recently Ukraine had to lower their conscription age again because you know they raised it before. They lowered it recently from 27 to 25 because they have to replenish their ranks. And in a war they basically already lost. Let me check out these super chats really quick. Great work, Niko. Keep on trucking, carrying on. Appreciate you, man. Ukraine joining NATO just about guarantees Russia will absorb all of Ukraine. Even though they don't really want all of it, there'll be no more Ukraine to be part of NATO or BlackRock. That's almost a guarantee. Make Ukraine Russia again. That part. Don't even don't even leave a patch called Ukraine, lest it remains a NATO playground, carpetbagger money laundry, and becomes a BlackRock property. 100%. That's exactly true. All of it's true. That I mean, but the truth is that's probably what's gonna happen. Putin has made it clear. And because he pleaded, he was pleading to NATO and pleading to the West right when all of this started, saying the moment Ukraine is granted accession, the West will not hesitate to enact Article 5. And what Article 5 of NATO says is that the if a you excuse me, if a NATO member is attacked, that means you're attacking all of them. You get what that means? That means if Ukraine is attacked, which obviously they're currently under attack, that means based off of the NATO charter, they have all of those countries involved have the green light to go after Russia. And they won't have to get approval, seek approval through the UN to do so without being penalized by NATO powers. NATO, ironically, you almost gotta wonder if NATO was specifically created to undermine the UN because of Russia being on the UN Security Council. So they knew they couldn't veto things. I mean, good God, the UN, especially the UN Security Council, might be the most useless, like the most useless governmental body in the world. It's ridiculous. But that's a different conversation for a different day. But my point is like, what? Putin has made it clear. The reason, guys, the reason that Ukraine was invaded to begin with was because Ukraine kept violating the Minsk agreements between Russia and Ukraine. One of the key pillars of the Minsk agreement, still, like besides not killing ethnic Russians in various regions of Ukraine and Crimea and Donbass, like besides that, which they already violated, you can't join NATO. Like, do y'all not understand? If you play this game, there will not be any more Ukraine. There won't be any more Ukraine. And if you play this game and you push, so here's my theory, right? Sparky, I see your super chat. I'm gonna get to in a second. Here's my theory, y'all. Do y'all remember do y'all remember my you Iran and Russia will invade Israel theory? Now, if y'all do remember it, you also know it's looking more and more and more likely, huh? Ain't it? Because Iran, they made it clear today. They're preparing for a military assault. Not, and we ain't talking about Hezbollah, okay? We're not talking about one of their proxies, and they do have many. We're talking about Iran now. Iran is planning on invading Israel. And I said the reason that it might take a second for Iran to invade Israel is because the US seems to be trying to use Ukraine to keep Russia busy. Because if Iran invades Israel, Russia will help them. Netanyahu is not liked by Putin. Honestly, he's making Putin's life difficult. And Bashar al-Assad, president of Syria, and Putin are allies. And in that region, Russian forces coordinate in Syria. Russian forces coordinate with Iran to take out terrorists. And I said, what did I say, y'all, like 2 weeks ago? I said, "Psh, it's coming. It's coming. Iran is going to go at them, and it ain't going to be through no proxy. It's going to be Iran. It's going to be Russia that backs them. And if Russia backs them, Israel is washed. They can't beat Iran right now. Israel wants Iran to invade because they know America will now have no choice but to go balls to the wall, which means the West will go balls to the wall because of the NATO stuff. And like, they know that the only way that Netanyahu can remain in power through some sort of legality, even though he should have been gone, but through some sort of legality is to maintain war. And the only way that he can try to rebuild morale there is to what? Unite them in fear of the enemy. right? You gotta you gotta pull off a Winston Churchill. So what is happening, in my opinion, is that they're trying if they do grant accession to Ukraine, if they do become more aggressive pursuing accession for Ukraine into NATO, it's because they know if Russia and Iran unite, they can't win that war. Israel would be wiped off the face of the planet. We don't one of the reasons I still maintain is I can't really claim this as fact, but, uh, it's I'm pretty confident that this is one of the reasons why. So, everybody knows at this point that Iran funds proxies in the region, um, to defend various governments against terrorist organizations against the United States, and Israel, of course. One of the reasons that I personally believe they don't get their military directly involved as much as they could is because they do not want the United States or Israel even to have genuine intel on the Iranian military and their capability. It's one of the smartest moves that you like, Iran's a very smart country. One of the reasons we've yet to invade Iran in a head-to-head conflict directly is because we don't have the intel to beat them. We don't know what bro, I firmly believe we still don't know how big Iran really is. We can't just we because of our relations with Iran, we can't just pull up and do what we want. There's certain routes you gotta take, there's certain flight patterns you're authorized to take, and if you don't use those flight patterns, you'll get shot the fuck down. I don't believe we know how big the military actually is. I think we have an idea. We don't know how well trained they are. We don't know how many weapons they actually have. We don't know their military capabilities. I just don't believe we do. If we did, or we do know, and they're terrified of Iran, like the United States and Israel. But I believe that Iran has been purposely keeping their cards close, playing into the chest in case shit get crazy. And we're now in crazy mode. That is going. I don't see how this does not result in the end of Israel. This is a consistent thing, like I've been saying. A lot of people have been saying this, but I know I've been saying it for a while, and people thought I was crazy. They're like, "Nah, bro, I don't. They're not gonna let them. They're not. The U.S. is gonna no. You stop. The U.S. is no longer in control, y'all. Stop letting them convince y'all that the U.S. is. They're in control, and maybe in some government governing bodies, they can veto something like control like that. But what I'm saying right now, the only way that the U.S. has control over any outcome is if they put Israel in check right now. But the problem is they don't really control Israel, do they? Right? We know that. They don't control Israel. So now the US is dealing with the consequences of Israel doing what they want because they got too big for their britches. Or who knows, maybe the US got too big for its britches and they forgot who controls them. I don't know. But that's where we're at. The US is not in control of shit. Do you really think that the US would have approved? Like, yeah, they assassinated Soleimani in Iraq, but that was relatively random. It wasn't random, but it was relatively random. It wasn't what like right now, Israel's pulling this shit right now after they just got done killing 7 volunteers. After everybody and their mama knows that they're genociding the Palestinian people. Come on, bro. No way the US woke up and was like, yeah, go ahead, pull the trigger. With an American citizen present. There ain't no way, bro. Sparky, thanks for the super chat. Every time anyone says that Israel is our only friend in the Middle East, I can't help but think that before Israel, we had no enemies in the Middle East. Yeah, that's how they act, but that's not even if Israel was our only friend in the Middle East, or is quote unquote our only friend in the Middle East, it's because of the actions of the United States because we were close to Iraq, then we betrayed Saddam. We were close to Iran, then we overthrew their government. We were on good relations with Syria at one point, right? Like you can go on and on. Like there were relations that we had maintained, and then we decided we screwed them. DC, thank you for the super chat. Article 5 is a joke, not invoked when the UA bombed PL. I'm not sure who's PL. Sparky, once NATO dissolves, Russia can hold referendums in the Nazi parts of Ukraine for them to join Russia. And if they're not down, sell or donate them to Poland or Romania and let them be their problem. I don't know if they'll sell it to Poland. I don't think they rock with Poland like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Do not think they like Poland like that. I think that might be out of the question, dog. It might be out of the question. But we'll see, man. We'll see. So I would like to know what y'all think about that with regard, like, do y'all believe uh, that this whole thing is a distraction from from Russia, or excuse me, from Israel, and that they're trying to take Russia's attention away by keeping them focused on Ukraine, so that they cannot help Iran. Because once again, yeah, that 75th birthday, that's just like a big ass slap in the face. Like, yeah, we're just throwing it in your face that we're gonna ask Ukraine to violate the Minsk agreement that you specifically told them not to violate, and that's specifically the reason why you're here, right? But just the whole distraction aspect of it, like, yeah, we gotta keep them focused on Ukraine. We cannot let them help Iran, because if they help Iran, they will erase. Ain't no fight, bro. The IDF, they don't got they can't scrap, bro. They're not tactically efficient. They're not they're not about to go one on one, like one for one. Like, I got as many guns as you do. I got as many people as you do. I'm just as strategically sound as you do. I got as much intel as you do. And I got allies, more allies in the region than you do. The IDF is not prepared for that. Israel is not prepared for a war on their own soil. Iran, 100%. They've been threatened with war on their own soil for the better part of 75 years. Like, the US is always threatening them. They overthrew them. Like, they're prepared for it. Iran is prepared for it. Syria has been living it. Lebanon, I don't know when they haven't lived it. My lifetime anyway. Like, but is Israel prepared? Like, we ain't talking about no, like, oh, one bomb gets shot in the air and a little Iron Dome. No, 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 no. We talking about we're marching up in your shit and we got bases all around. Like, that kind of Israel's not prepared for that. And they're not prepared for it if Russia decides to join the show. And if Israel gets wiped out, which means that the US doesn't have an ally really in that region, because the UAE, I don't know if y'all know, the UAE, it just broke ties with Israel. Yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all believe, one, do y'all believe that Ukraine will actually join NATO? Two, if NATO allows them to join, will Russia retaliate in time? Right? Go like full balls to the wall. We about to destroy y'all. It's over. Uh, three, do you believe that this is really all about Israel and Iran? I tend to believe that this is about Israel and Iran, especially given the um, especially given the events that have taken place the last 2 or 3 days. So I want to go ahead and move on. Go ahead and move on to our next topic. So, um, y'all, Ben Shapiro is he's an idiot. He's a hypocrite. I can't stand him. I can't stand Ben Shapiro. I got a probably it's like a personal thing against him too. And really quick, if you want to donate to the show, you can become a member of Patreon. The link is in the description. Also, I suggest if you want to keep up with our content updates, hot stuff, breaking news, um, make sure y'all subscribe to my Telegram channel. I'll post that in the stream link. Green copy or in the stream chat. Boom, boom. Yeah. So, um, Ben Shapiro, he for some reason has convinced himself that he's smart, and what it really is, because he talks fast, he uses some, Scrabble words. He he does these logical leaps, and if sometimes if you're now people are more accustomed to him, so they are catching it much faster. Back in the day, it was more difficult for people to catch leaps in logic unless you like had a trained ear. And I debated the majority of my young adult life, like not like fake debate on YouTube. Like I actually got trophies for my shit. Okay, one of the best debaters in the country. Very proud of that. I worked really hard for it. So when I hear people like talk about Ben Shapiro being a great debater or like Destiny being a great debater, I'm like, those are not great debaters. I knew some great debaters. Like they're not it. I know some people when they talk fast, you better listen because they said something you probably should be hearing. That's not Ben Shapiro. Um, and Ben Shapiro likes to debate little girls and little boys. I'll let you don't know what they're talking about. So, I don't like Ben Shapiro as a person, as commentator. Like I can be tolerant of conservatives. He's not one of them because he's a neocon. He's a hypocrite. This Candace Owens situation has exposed him, and I don't know if y'all seen, but this man has been going on a little tour of to talk about the Candace Owens situation, even though he supposedly has repeated time and time again he doesn't want to talk about the Candace Owens situation. So we're gonna check out a snippet of this interview. It's really fast with him and Dave Rubin. And actually, before I do that, let me see if I can fix this echo that I got going on. My stuff was echoing. I do not know why. Okay. Hopefully we got that fixed. As long as y'all can't hear it, I'm good.
She's free to do whatever she wants to do, to be wherever she wants to be. And the difference between a publisher like the Daily Wire and a platform like Locals is obviously that a platform should have a very broad range of speech that it allows, including speech that maybe even the creators don't believe is inside what they would consider to be the Overton window. It's a very different thing than direct subsidization of particular opinions.
All right, Shapiro, here we go. In person once again. I was told that the last time we actually sat in person together was July of 2020. Here we are in the free state of Florida.
And
you did it.
Not everything I say is prophetic, but that one, that felt like an easy call at the time and turned out to be like actually a really easy call. The good news is you did get the upside on the house that you bought in LA, so you didn't get totally hosed on that.
That's true.
Which is my fear for you when you bought that second house. I will say you could have saved yourself a few years.
People like Dave Rubin. I just want to say, people like Dave Rubin have ruined Florida for me. I'm so glad I left the state of Florida. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Continue.
Years and a lot of money in income tax.
A lot of money, a fruitless effort to depose Gavin Newsom in a recall election. I got audited by the state after that.
Your optimism had costs.
I tried. You know what I mean? And trying is always worth it, right? In this world that we're in right now.
I wish that were true.
No.
Okay, so first of all, before we even get into the Candace Owens stuff, I want to show y'all this exchange right now. Y'all see how it's really copacetic? Everybody's really chill. They're like acting like they're best of friends. Yeah, that's my guy, bro. That's my bud. Do y'all know what Ben Shapiro said about Dave Rubin? This is the type of, like, bro, these people don't be having no balls, no principles, nothing. Do y'all know that Ben Shapiro would not go to Dave Rubin's wedding, and nor would he go to his party at Dave Rubin's house because Dave Rubin is gay? I don't know if I know that. Dave is married to a man. So Ben Shapiro openly came out and was like, yeah, nah, I don't rock with him. Well, no, I mean, I rock with him. He's all right, but nah, not me. I can't do that. I can't go hang out with my friend because he's gay. And because Candace has an opinion about a genocide, the most basic baseline opinion you can have if you're, I don't know, a human being and not a monster, Dave Rubin decided he was going to cut off Candace Owens as a friend and bring on Ben Shapiro to defend his decision, Even though Candace Owens never switched up or flipped up on Dave Rubin just because you know how she feels about that too, right? But she never switched up on him. Ben Shapiro said, I don't even acknowledge your relationship, bro. I can't even validate your relationship by going to your house, even though you invited me. And this is what Dave Rubin doing. Just glurping. Spineless, bro.
I wish that
Have you shifted now to the other side of this?
Every time I think I've hit the bottom of the pessimistic well, it turns out that there are leagues below me. And I can always find new ways to be pessimistic.
All right, so let's do a bunch of stuff here. We've done this over Skype and that kind of stuff a couple times, even just in the last few months. But it's been a while since we've sat down. I actually have notes here, which I hate having, but I want to kind of cover everything. In some ways, I want to do this as if I had never seen you before, or know some of your stuff, or interviewed you before. Because I think there's a lot of confusion about you and your positions, which is, do you find that odd, like someone who speaks as precisely and fast as you do, that people seem to be confused over your positions?
Yes. Bro. Is it so odd that people, you speak so fast? And, like, bro, shut the fuck. Bro, it's nobody's confused about Ben Shapiro's positions. That's a crazy part about that. That's a ridiculous statement. Not one time on Twitter, on YouTube, in an interview, I've not seen a single person be like, I just don't know how Ben Shapiro feels about certain positions on international or domestic policy. Not a single person has said that. That is not our point. Our problem is we know Ben Shapiro's positions and they're bullshit. That's the problem. But whatever.
And I find it deeply confusing because, again, I'm public record on everything for at least 20 years. I started writing a syndicated column when I was 17. I'm currently 40. So the notion that you have to go far to search for my opinions is strange to me. But the online world is not a real world. And the phrase I've been finding myself using a lot lately is touch some grass.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to go out.
Really? Ben Shapiro is saying that, bro? Okay.
Outside, and they need to touch.
This is the same man who literally made a career off of finding random TikTok and YouTube videos of the most extreme dumbasses that claim to be leftists, take one-off situations, literally one-off situations, in marginal situations, and be like, this is representative of the left. Look at Joe Biden. All those leftists love him. Communists. Like, nah, this is a random person online that you found with 2 followers. It's probably a bot account with 3 tweets. And you're like, this is representative of all the left. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Touch some grass. Like, turn off X, go touch some grass. Turn off Instagram, go outside, look at the sky. Like, the reality is that if you want to know my positions, I've been outspoken about literally all of them. I've not been unclear about them. There are, of course, people who are going to seek to twist those positions into something that they are not. And I understand that's the nature of the game. Nothing has changed there. But the prevalence and speed with which that happens, that has changed. And that's gotten significantly worse over the course of the last few years.
How do you balance that for yourself? Because I talk about it on the show all the time. I mean, we're in this digital world. We're basically existing in the matrix, which I would say if you spend more than 12 hours and 1 second on there, you pretty much are just the battery for the thing. Versus we all go out and about, and at least here in Florida, we have a functional society and we have law and order and things like that. So just contrasting the lunacy that's happening there versus actually, not that everything's great in America, it certainly isn't, we're going to get to it, but there's a huge chasm between those two things.
For sure. And I think that for me, the big move that I made in my life was probably 5-6 years ago now, where my wife turned to me and she said, Twitter, even then, was taking up too much of your time and eating your life. You really need to not have Twitter on your phone. And so I took Twitter off my phone. So what I'll do is I'll check in on specific accounts from the outside of Twitter where I actually have to spend the effort to log into to Twitter and look up what a specific news account is saying, as opposed to just having this scrolling doom feed that is also filled with an echo chamber about you. The notifications button on Twitter is bad. It's gotten way worse since listen, I love that Elon took over X.
You check the Ben Shapiro notifications?
No. I gave that up a long time ago. I will say that
if I was Ben Shapiro, I wouldn't check my notifications either. Because holy shit, even conservatives don't agree with him the majority of the time. So there's that. Your wife was definitely trying to protect you, bro, because like I understand how toxic Twitter can be, and it's mostly because of bots, but I just have a pretty damn good feeling in Ben's case, it ain't the bots that's crushing him. It's real people, verified accounts. That like you're like today. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
It did get significantly worse when I would check on it since the changes to the blue check.
Yeah.
I mean, the changes to the blue check mark definitely opened up all the floodgates in terms of anyone now being in your notifications. So it made it a lot less usable just in terms of being user friendly and people you actually cared about commenting on what you were doing. But with all that said, yeah, I really don't check Twitter a lot except for the news when I'm attempting to prep for the show. And I really try never to check the notifications or the comments or anything remotely like that because it is toxicity all the way up, all the way down.
All right, so let's do the elephant in the room for just a moment because
really, like Ben Shapiro is saying that Twitter is toxic, bro. Ben Shapiro is largely the reason that Twitter is toxic because of his right-wing SJW bullshit.
I saw you this week on Piers Morgan. He asked you repeatedly about Candace. You repeatedly basically said,
I won't talk about that. I'll say that here too.
Well, that's fine.
I just think all these interviews.
You know, it's interesting because we all sort of came up together to different extents and we've all done a million things together in public events and networks and all of those things. It seems to me that at this moment, she's now a free agent. She happened to end up on Locals, which I created, and we're a platform, not a publisher that you guys.
She's a free agent. She's not a free agent. She was fired because you didn't like her opinion. And then you see, he's like, she just ended up on Locals because he does like, bro, Ben, this damn interview is reminding me how much I hate Dave Rubin. Bro, he's such a bitch. I can't stand him. He just ended up on Locals. Bro, you knew she was on Locals. Why are you acting like you didn't know that? You know, it's a platform, not a publisher. So like, you know, Ben, don't be mad at me. I'm not a hypocrite.
Guys are. Can you at least talk to just sort of where it's at now? She's not with you. She's free.
She's free to do whatever she wants to do, to be wherever she wants to be.
Oh my God! Thank you so much, Ben. Oh my God! Thank you for giving Candace permission for doing whatever she wants to do, even though you're not her employer, her father, her husband, or her kids. But hey, man, we know before anyone can make a fucking move, Zionist has to approve of it, right? Otherwise, well, like what? Candace may not ever get a job. Seriously, I mean that's reality. Oh my God! Thank you so much, man. You're letting Candace just do whatever she wants. That's so dope that you think she's free to do whatever she wants. That's like, I don't even know if Candace could have gotten up this morning without knowing that Ben Shapiro is actually okay with allowing Candace Owens to do whatever she wants with her career. Thank you so much, Ben.
A publisher like the Daily Wire and a platform like Locals is obviously that a platform should have a very broad range of speech that it allows, including speech that maybe even the creators don't believe is inside what they would consider to be the Overton window. It's a very different thing than direct subsidization of particular opinions. So the Daily Wire would not have a host, would not pay a host who was staunchly pro-abortion. They would have no obligation to pay a host who is staunchly pro-abortion. And so when it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire, obviously everyone is able to say what they want. Nobody ever comes to me and says, you can't say X. Nobody ever says that to Walsh. And no one ever said that to Candace. But the reality is that there is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. Obviously.
Pause. He said, no one ever said that you can't say whatever you want. You didn't say that she can't say whatever she wanted, Ben. What you did was you literally went to rallies and attacked her, went on Twitter and attacked her. You went on different shows and interviews. You literally attacked people. You attacked Candace specifically, over and over again for her position. And then fired her for it. Is that supposed to be better? Then hey, like, no, you can't say that. And then you're like, we wouldn't, like, okay, so maybe you wouldn't hire them because of their position on abortion, which is also weird. Like, okay, cool. But like, if what you're saying is if there was somebody who switched positions, let's just say Candace, for example, once again, there was somebody who switched positions on abortion on the Daily Wire, you would fire them because you just said you wouldn't pay them. In other words, you were telling people what they can and can't think and what they can and can't say. Like you're threatening them by taking their job away. You don't say it like, oh man, you can't say that. But what you do is you fire them. So basically they're not allowed to say it. You fucking disingenuous shill. What the hell? Come on, bro.
There was a non-meeting of the minds. That's pretty much all I can say on this. And you know, a lot of this has happened publicly. But you know, to the extent that the Daily Wire is in fact not a publisher, it is that is in fact not a platform, it is a publisher. That means that there is no moral obligation for the Daily, and there's no free speech problem with the Daily Wire saying we don't wish to pay a particular host, or that host saying I don't wish to work here anymore because.
Bro, there's no moral. Y'all need to hear this again.
The Daily, and there's no free speech problem with the Daily Wire saying we don't wish to pay a particular host, or that host saying I don't wish to play. But you know, to the extent that the Daily Wire is in fact not a publisher, it is a
By the way, I don't think I've ever seen Ben Shapiro say something with so little confidence. As it when he's debating, even when he's bullshitting, that boy be solid. He does not bend. He does not stutter. He just, this is the facts and this is that. You know, he doesn't waffle. And boy, he's trying so hard to sell this shit. And I believe the reason why he's having to sell, they took a hit. Daily Wire took a hit after they fired Candace. And I don't believe that's been made public, obviously. But I believe Daily Wire took a hit, and that's why he's on this little tour. But that boy sound nervous as hell, don't he? But listen to this shit again. Listen to it.
That is in fact not a platform, it is a publisher. That means that there is no moral obligation for the Daily, and there's no free speech problem with the Daily Wire saying we don't wish to pay a particular host, or that host saying I don't wish to work here anymore because again, there's a parting of the ways that you know is not really open for discussion at this point.
Does it surprise you that so many people, even on our side of this, are confused about that as it relates to free speech?
Bro, you know, I can't have friends like Dave Rubin in my life. You know, the friend that always does the fake devil's advocacy thing, the I'm gonna play dumb just to be dumb, like to pretend like I don't know what's going on because I think it actually makes me sound smarter. That's Dave Rubin. Does it surprise you that people just don't get that? Does it no, we get it. It's bullshit. First of all, I want you all to understand something. Yeah, I am very, very staunchly pro free speech. I am very, very much so pro dissenting opinion. 100%. One of the very few things that I agree with some of my conservative friends about is free speech absolutism, right? I don't agree with it just on a legal ground. I agree with it on a moral ground, and I can give you a litany of reasons as to why, but we're not going to get into that right now. Okay. The reason, Ben, it is a moral problem that Daily Wire, a publisher, decided to fire Candace Owens because of her beliefs on Israel and Palestine, outside of the fact that, like, she just was anti-genocide and anti-giving our money away for genocide to take place. The reason it's a moral problem is because you made a fucking moral problem, Ben. You made a moral problem when you created and curated a fucking career where anyone who said, we don't like what you say, therefore we're going to fire you, or we don't like what you say, we're going to reduce your pay, we don't like what you say, we're going to demonetize you, we're going to deplatform you, we're going to blah, blah, blah. Every single time, you literally said, you tried to use that, you said that that's how the left operates. You said that's how liberals operate. That's how Democrats operate. That's how conservatives would never do something like that, especially Ben Shapiro of all people. You know what, matter of fact, I'm going to let Ben talk. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let Ben talk about it. Because, you know, nobody can expose you better than you can expose yourself. So we're going to let Ben talk about it. All right.
United States who are afraid. We have literally tens of millions of people in the United States who are afraid that the cancel culture is coming for them. And cancel culture does exist. Okay, so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular viewpoint on you and then cancel you. When it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire, obviously.
He said what? He said what? Hold up.
Coming for them. And cancel culture does exist. Okay, so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular viewpoint on you and then cancel you when it comes
He said what? Nah, we gotta run that back one more time. We gotta run that back one more time.
for them. And cancel culture does exist. Okay, so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular viewpoint on you and then cancel you when it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire. Obviously, everyone is able to say what they want, but the reality is that there is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. There are polls out there that show that a vast majority of Americans in every single political group, including liberals, feel like they cannot say what they want to say in public because they're afraid that they are going to be canceled, fired, cast out from polite society. This actually happened to a socialist moron named Nathan Robinson.
Named Candace Owens? Oh, that's right. She isn't socialist. She isn't liberal. And she ain't work for just any corporation or publication. She worked for yours.
He got canceled from The Guardian. And he said he got canceled from
my
The Guardian
God.
because he
Hey, bro, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the gift
that they are going
keeps
to be
on
canceled,
giving.
fired, cast out from polite society. This actually happened to a socialist moron named Nathan Robinson. He got canceled from The Guardian. And he said he got canceled from The Guardian because he had put up some anti-Israel tweets. Okay, now I think he's an idiot. I think that his views on it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, we're gonna run that back. We gotta run that back. We gotta run that back. We gotta run that back. Oh my God. You can't.
This actually
you can't make
happened
this up.
to a socialist moron named Nathan Robinson. He got canceled from The Guardian. And he said he got canceled from The Guardian because he had put up some anti-Israel tweets. Okay, now I think he's an idiot. I think that his views on Israel are abhorrent, but I don't think that he should lose his columnist slot over at The Guardian. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Yeah, como Victor said. Yeah, just like Victor. Ben is literally cooking himself. Holy shit. So apparently, he wasn't okay with Nathan, the socialist idiot from The Guardian, being fired for his anti-Israel views that Ben obviously doesn't agree with. But he was okay with firing Candace because that's different. Morally is different. Now y'all know why Ben Shapiro turned off his notifications for Twitter. Because holy shit. Holy shit. You can't, like I said, bro, nobody can cook them up. Like with these hypocrites like Ben Shapiro and others, nobody can cook. I can cook them, but nobody can cook them better than themselves. You just got to press play. You just got to press play. Shout out to Greg for mixing that together for Hotspot. But yeah, bro. Woo, Jesus Christ. Let me check out some of these super chats real quick. Ben's a disingenuous, hypocritical asshole. You're absolutely right about that. Denazify Israel. Yep. Go answer Allah. Fight the power. Instead of spending it in vain, your boy Ben, best just let it cool off for a long, long time. He's making it worse. Israel style. That's the Zionist way, isn't it? Just keep going. If it's worse, make it worse. DC, thank you for the super chat. If cognitive dissonance had a perfect example, yeah, nah, that's insane. We gonna run that back. I need to laugh, y'all.
We have literally tens of millions of people in the United States who are afraid that the cancel culture is coming for them. And cancel culture does exist. Okay, so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular viewpoint on you and then cancel you. When it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire, obviously everyone is able to say what they want. But the reality is that there is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. There are polls out there that show that a vast majority of Americans in every single political group, including liberals, feel like they cannot say what they want to say in public because they're afraid that they are going to be canceled, fired, cast out from polite society. This actually happened to a socialist moron named Nathan Robinson. He got canceled from The Guardian. And he said he got canceled from The Guardian because he had put up some anti-Israel tweets. Okay, now I think he's an idiot. I think that his views on Israel are abhorrent, but I don't think that he should lose his columnist slot over at The Guardian. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not. he certainly would not defend anybody on the other side who got canceled. In fact, he has repeatedly said cancel culture does not exist. Okay, it does exist. The fact that there are people out there who want you to lose your job for the sin of saying things they don't agree with is extraordinarily real, and it is happening on a moment-by-moment basis. The Daily Wire is a publisher, not a platform. Publishers obviously have to decide what sort of things they wish to pay for the publication of, and when it comes to hosts and publishers, parting ways, obviously there'll be a non-meeting of the minds. That's pretty much all I can say on that.
I'm just a fucking hypocrite. Just a hypocrite. I'm just a fucking hypocrite. I don't know. I just felt this way yesterday, but now because it's involving Israel in my publication, I just feel completely different today. I don't know what's the difference. It's just morally, I'm just full of shit. I just don't have any principles. What the? Oh my god! Yo, Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz even came out, and he usually doesn't really get involved in this type of shit because I'm assuming it's because he likes to keep all options open for his show. But after he realized that Ben Shapiro is not somebody he wants on his show, even Andrew Schultz came out and was like, yeah, nah, this is crazy. Check him out.
He makes the argument for censorship. He calls it something else.
Yeah, I forget the term. I have it in my phone.
But I don't even think he's using the term right. But he's basically like, there's a window of ideas we accept.
Yes.
And we accept ideas between this, I guess this is, if I get window, you're looking like this. So we accept ideas between here and here. And anything outside of that window, well, you're fireable. That's censorship. But he's acting as if this is like a justified reason for firing people when you built your identity and platform off of no censorship and freedom of speech and facts don't care about your feelings and all this shit.
It's also funny that window happens to end where his beliefs end.
Isn't
that interesting?
You would say that.
Not being pro-Israel, that's where the window ends. That's also your specific personal belief.
What?
So I just don't see.
You can't have an opinion on your platform that is not pro a country that is not ours?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Crazy. I wish.
So is the Daily Wire an American media platform or is it an Israeli media platform? I'm just asking.
That's got.
Woo! Bruh. Even Andrew Schultz, who generally is pretty lenient towards people like Ben Shapiro, even Andrew Schultz is like, nah, bro. Like, and if once again, it ain't just Israel. It is definitely Israel, but it isn't just Israel because Ben Shapiro's opinion before was, even as much as he vehemently disagrees with this guy Nathan's views on Israel, he doesn't believe he deserved to be fired. But then fast forward to this Dave Rubin interview, if somebody had different opinions on abortion than I do, if they're pro-abortion, then we wouldn't pay them. So basically what you're saying is your views have completely and totally flipped, or, which is more likely, you're full of shit. You're just as pro-cancel culture as the left-wing SJWs, the liberal SJWs. You're no different than Rachel Maddow. You're no different than Cenk Uygur. You're no different than Sam Seder and Emma Vigilant and Joy-Ann Reid. And you're no different than them. In fact, you can make an argument that you're worse, bro, because at least they don't pretend to be anti-cancel culture. They didn't build a career off of being anti-cancel culture. They didn't build a career off of pointing out obscure marginalized examples of people being canceled or people dumbasses on TikTok going to the most extreme ends they can to prove that they're liberal, and then trying to attribute that to behavior of all of the left. That's his career, bro. I hate you because I don't believe you. Or excuse me, I hate you because you believe different than me. That is Ben Shapiro's career. And he's trying to pretend this is how liberals operate. But what have I said? I've said this for so long, bro. There is no difference between liberal SJWs, social justice warriors, for those of you who don't know. There's no difference between liberal SJWs and right-wing SJWs. There's no difference. There is zero fucking difference between the two. And anyone who tells you otherwise is full of shit. I don't care if they're liberal, left-wing, conservative. SJW is not designated for a party or an ideology. It's you don't believe the same things I believe in, Fuck you. You don't get to talk. You don't get a platform. I don't care what you have to say. I hate you. That's what it is. That is what it is. Say what you want about Candace, but when it comes to free speech and that type of, like, she stood on business on that. She's gone on with people she disagrees with, and we even try to have a conversation to figure out where they do agree. She never called after all this went down. She didn't call for Ben Shapiro to be canceled, especially when he tried to say that Crisis King is somehow like anti-Semitic. Right? There's a lot of shit Candace Owens could have done to a lot of people to call them out and call for them to be. Even after she got fired, she didn't call for Daily Wire to be canceled. But Ben Shapiro, on the other hand, y'all, I'm gonna show y'all. I gotta show y'all this tweet. Just gonna make y'all day real quick. Y'all know who Ben Shapiro reminds me of, guys? Ben Shapiro reminds me of somebody very specific. Somebody near and dear to my childhood. Probably near and dear to a lot of you guys' childhoods. Y'all trying to tell me Ben Shapiro ain't Randall from Recess, y'all? Y'all trying to tell me that ain't Ben Shapiro? Miss Finster, Miss Finster. That's not Ben Shapiro, y'all. They don't got the same smile, y'all. Bro, their eyebrows even kind of look the same. They're even holding their hands the same. Oh my God. Bro, y'all trying to tell me that ain't Ben Shapiro? That ain't Ben Shapiro? That, bro, they look like they hooked up CGI to Ben Shapiro's face. And the voice is even weirdly similar. The crazy part about this is the scene, what Randall is saying in this particular scene. Look, how deliciously moist. The same Ben Shapiro that actually, he said his wife never had WAP. His wife don't got no WAP. Ben Shapiro don't know how to make his wife moist. Maybe that's why she was saying get off Twitter. She was like, get off of Twitter and learn how to turn me on, you slimy, rat-faced, tiny little man, before I leave you for somebody who literally fits your exact same build down the street at the synagogue. But whatever. Yo, that ain't Ben Shapiro, y'all. It's all right. Let me go ahead. I just had to show y'all that because good God. Y'all, boy, I don't care. Y'all people try to tell me God don't got no sense of humor. No, you can't be that accurate and be like, God don't got no sense of humor. Woo, that's funny. Oh man. Anyway, let's move on to this. Last time. Oh man. Okay. Jesus Christ. So, really quick. Oh, let me check if we got any more super chats. Sparky says that Daily Wire already took a hit for driving hard in the paint for Israel. The Candace thing may put them on a path to their own destruction. I did not know that. I would assume that the Daily Wire was actually like they were copacetic, that the audience there. Because it seems like Daily Wire targets old Zionist conservatives who would vote for like Jeb Bush, right? Like that seems like to be their target audience, but whatever. Dunning-Kruger 2024, hot. Make hypocrisy great again. Newsom Kushner 2024. Man, oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, so I hate those guys, right? Just Dave Rubin and Ben Shapiro, just both of them. Being in the same room just like makes my skin crawl. Watching them talk to each other, like, just, what? I don't know. Just watching them both play stupid. You just like, especially Ben Shapiro, who's a guy who swears that he knows everything all the time. And like you could see the difference in his demeanor with those videos, with the contrast with I know what I'm talking about because I'm always principled because he believes that. To flip to I know I'm bullshitting and it's obvious and everyone knows it, but whoever's in charge of paying the bill said, Ben, get your ass out there and do some crowd control because this ain't working, bro. You need some damage control now. Anyway, so really quick, where are my basketball fans out there? Women's basketball has actually been pretty crazy lately. And as you all know, lately, Angela Reese and Caitlin Clark have been a huge topic of conversation, principally because Angel Reese, won the championship last year, the national championship, and blew up. Got a bunch of NIL deals, which was great for her. It was great for women's basketball. Caitlin Clark is probably the best female basketball player in 50 years. I mean, she's insane. We'll see how she does in the WNBA, but she's phenomenal. And Angel Reese had to go through Caitlin Clark to get through. Angel Reese at LSU had to go through Caitlin Clark in Iowa to win the national championship last year. They got a rematch this year, right? This time, Caitlin went crazy and won. It was a very emotional game for Angel Reese. And it wasn't just the game itself. It was the comments before the game, after the game, and really since she won the championship last year. And her post-game press conference and the comments of her and her teammates started going viral. And I wanted to show you all before we talk about it.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and like not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship. And I said the other day, I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks. But I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything. And I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are, keep waking up every day, keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
So she came under a lot of backlash because people said she was playing victim because she lost. And this shit's crazy to me. Like, she's not, like, she literally got death threats. Like, she's not playing victim. She's crying. First of all, if you're a competitor and you're crying out, if you're not crying after your last basketball game on the way to a national championship and you're trying to repeat and you're one of the top 5 best players in college basketball, like, and you're not crying, like, you don't really want that shit. I would expect the same out of Caitlin Clark if she lost, right? Also, the things that happened to her, that happened. Like, she had death threats made about her, right? People were attacking her. People were calling her victim. People calling her ghetto, all kinds of. You know why? Because Angel Reese had the audacity to talk shit during basketball games. That's why. And this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese beef, which they don't even have between each other, became this. We're not cheering for Caitlin Clark. A lot of people weren't cheering for Caitlin Clark in that particular game, which, by the way, was the most watched women's or college basketball game ever. I think was the most watched women's college basketball game ever. It was like, the numbers are crazy. It broke all kinds of records. I think it was like at one point, like 12 million people watching at the same time or some shit. It was crazy. It was something crazy. But they were cheering against Angel Reese because she talks shit during basketball games. Y'all know how fucking ridiculous that sounds? Why? Caitlin Clark has never came out and been like, yeah, man, I get death threats. She doesn't get them. Which is peculiar for a lot of people. They're like, people want to know why Angel Reese is reacting like this after she talked shit, had a great year, you know, came to an abrupt end. And Caitlin Clark last year when she lost, talked shit, came to an abrupt end, didn't go through this. Why isn't she getting the same type of... No, people were cheering her on actually and attacking Angel Reese instead, even though Angel Reese won the national championship. Caitlin Clark talks as much shit as Angel Reese, if not more. Do y'all know that? Caitlin Clark is a shit. Bro, she's like Larry Bird in a lot of ways. That's one of the original things that drew attention to Caitlin Clark was like, she was a hooper and she was talking shit to you the entire time. And she was beating you damn near by herself. But Caitlin Clark isn't treated the same way Angel Reese is. And the reason why is because Angel Reese is black. And Caitlin Clark is white. And there's been this idea that like, nah, why? Because you know it's a race thing because it always jumps, whenever white people, when they talk about victims or even women for that matter, or excuse me, black people or women or marginalized groups, but usually it's black people or a woman or black women specifically. Whenever they want to try to figure out a way to disingenuously dismiss what someone is saying because they probably partaken in that behavior, they always say they're playing the victim. That victim mindset, that victim mentality. What do you mean, bro? This shit actually happened. How's it a victim mentality? Well, she was talking trash, yeah, during basketball games about basketball? Who don't talk shit during basketball games? Boy, I'm definitely talking shit during basketball games. Don't play me. I'm talking shit. The same shit that a lot of players get constant, like Larry Bird is famous for shit talking. At the time, he's the only one who probably talked more shit than Magic Johnson and was admired for it. Right? But with Angel Reese, it was ghetto. She cocky. She did. That's why she's crying. She's trying to understand, which is, by the way, it's something I feel like a lot of kids, because she's only 21 years old, bro. She's a kid. Right? When all this started, she was 19 turning 21. Or she was 19 turning 20 when all of this started for her. And I knew the realization that I went through whenever I was her age, maybe a little bit younger. And I'm like, hold up, there's a double standard. I can't act how I'm just, that person, my white counterpart, is doing the same exact thing that I'm doing. Why am I being told to calm down? They're passionate. They're speaking passionately too. Why am I being told to calm down? They're talking shit too. Why am I being told to calm down? And then you start to, and she's figuring out all this on the international stage, really. A national and international stage at the peak of women's basketball, a higher peak than we've ever seen, when everybody's watching her and she's finding out in real time, oh shit, I'm not allowed to be myself because I'm black? That's fucking weird. And yeah, I feel like that's something that probably is justified. That's if you want to cry for a reason after a game, after outside of the basketball stuff, that's a justifiable reason to cry, bro. That's a hard realization to deal with. If you've never had to deal with it, I don't wish it upon you. That's some hard shit to deal with. Realizing that the world is judging you differently because of, it's like with Lamar Jackson, and if you watch football, there is no way in fucking hell anyone should have ever thought that Lamar Jackson, that like Josh Allen, is better than Lamar Jackson. In no world has Josh Allen been better than Lamar Jackson. There's not been a single year, outside of obviously the time where Lamar gets injured, but there's not been a single year where Josh Allen's actually been better than Lamar Jackson. It's like there's nothing. There's nothing. Everything that you think you like about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson actually does better. But Lamar Jackson is black and he's from the hood, and he doesn't carry himself like Josh Allen, or your boy from Justin Herbert. Like, people thought Justin Herbert was better than Lamar Jackson. What the fuck is wrong with people? What? Why? We just think that we like they were inventing reasons like, well, he's the most efficient quarterback, like Lamar Jackson was. Like, he's like it was him, Mahomes, Brady, like interchange them any given year for the last 5 years. Him, Mahomes, Brady. pass touchdowns, rush touchdown. Like nothing. There was no thing you could the only person that could compare to Lamar Jackson statistically was literally Patrick Mahomes. And people couldn't figure out, like, why is Josh Allen? Because Josh Allen is a great white hope, and they need one in a league that's dominated by running black quarterbacks, to be completely honest with you. They're looking for one. And to be honest with you, y'all know they ain't gonna let Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow been hanging out with us a little bit too much. They ain't gonna let him be the Y'all seen Joe Burrow haircut? Nah, they ain't gonna let him do it. But they were hoping Josh Allen was gonna be the guy. And what made like Lamar Jackson began to react on social media in ways that he would have never reacted to in the past, in a way that he would have never reacted in the past, because he was finding out in real time, oh shit, there's a double standard for me because I'm a black quarterback, like because I wear it on my sleeve. I wear my culture and my history and my neighborhood and where I came from on my sleeve because I talk different. That's what the fuck? I thought it was about my talent. I thought it was all about talent. Nope, not about talent. Yeah, don't get me started, Bryce. Don't even get me started about the receiver shit. They screwed Lamar Jackson in the receiver category from jump. And hell, even today, right, or yesterday, whenever Bills traded Stephon Diggs, the first thing they started doing was making excuses. Well, Josh Allen's not going to have that number one receiver anymore. That's crazy because that excuse didn't fucking exist for Lamar Jackson when he was busting y'all ass with no number one receiver. No, excuse me. Busting y'all ass with a number one receiver who led the league in drops multiple years. Not, I couldn't catch it. I mean, I had it and I dropped the shit. My bad. That guy. But all right. What we gotta it's that woman called herself the villain. No, what she said was, I'll be the villain. Andrew Reese said, I'll be the villain. You know why she said that? Because what else you gonna say when the entire country tries to make you the villain for doing the same thing everyone else is doing? You get what I'm saying? Her talking shit, that's like I thought that's what we loved. Oh, unless it's a white person over there that's doing the same thing, and she's like, but you like it would have almost been better if Angel Reese lost last year. Not better, literally, because no, fuck that. Get your money and get your W's. But what I'm saying is the way that the world treated her, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you hurt my little pretty porcelain white girl. That's how they treated it. Like, how dare you talk shit? Like that was their little sister, their daughter, their cousin, whatever. Like that mean black girl beat up on my little white girl. Like, no, Caitlin Clark was chill. She literally had zero problem with Andrew Reese. She had zero problem with Andrew Reese. None. They were talking shit in the middle of a basketball game. That's what you do. But that's how they treated Angel because she beat Caitlin Clark and let Caitlin. If I beat the person that they said is the best player in the country, I'm going to talk so much shit, y'all. Who would not talk shit in that situation? Who would not talk shit in that situation, bro? But they act like Caitlin, it's almost an insult to Caitlin Clark. Like Caitlin Clark can't go back and get her ones herself like she did. Like last year, LSU beat their ass. And this year, Caitlin Clark came back and damn near single-handedly beat all of them. That's how you get your get back. She didn't need y'all to go defend her. Like y'all attacked Angel Reese whenever she won. And then you attacked her when she lost. Y'all understand at this point, they have barely talked about what Caitlin Clark has done, the head-to-head matchup and how great she was, because there was a lot more pressure on this game. There's a lot more pressure on Caitlin Clark just career-wise than it was for Angel Reese in LSU. LSU just got theirs. I mean, repeating is great, but you know how that go. When you're trying to be one of the best all time, which Caitlin Clark is already kind of like climbing that ladder, you got to get a ring, and you definitely got to go to the people who stopped you from getting a goddamn ring, right? There was so much pressure on Caitlin Clark that her damn near single-handedly beating LSU should have been the story. But it became Angel Reese. Playing victim card, playing victim. Come on, bro. I really hope that, like, when y'all talk, I just hope that my people are like, they notice stuff like this because, yeah, you can't fix the world, but it's important to notice. It's important to understand through lenses like this because this is easier to see because it's not politics. You get what I'm saying? It's easy to see because it's not somebody being used for an election. It's not somebody being thrown out there to benefit somebody, right? By taking advantage of whatever they're going through. It's not race baiting. It's very plain and in your face. And it lets you know, like, we got a long way to go if a young girl, 21 years old, can't talk shit during a basketball game when she's one of the best in the country and is handing out L's. Like, you know how if I was like a little black girl watching what Angel Reese is going through, I'm 13, 14, 15 years old, watching what Angel Reese is going through, bro, I'm damn near quit. I'm like, duh, I can't really do that. I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be famous, bro. Why would I want to deal with this? I just see what Andrew Reese, like, shit, if I was a little white girl, I'd be looking at Caitlin Clark like, wow, I can lose and everybody still loves me. I can just be great and people just love me regardless of people as long as that. No, but like, it's true. It's very much so true, bro. It is very, 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 like, if you're a quarterback, like, yeah, you want to be Lamar Jackson, but it's like, damn, but do I really want to go through what Lamar Jackson go through? This man can be the best at what he does and people still treat him like he's literally Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. That's who it is. You know, Pat Mahomes is way over here compared to everybody else at this point. Like, Pat Mahomes is in a different stratosphere. We ain't gonna talk about that. But the closest thing to him is Lamar Jackson, and that's like shouldn't be mistaken based on everything we know. But yet you got Josh Allen and Justin Herbert who are being elevated above Lamar Jackson by a lot of people, and there's no logical reason why. And that stuff has a social impact, regardless of whether or not there's a willingness to acknowledge it. But it's real. Like, there's a reason, because that is it's a preconceived bias, unfortunately. And the only way we can start talking about it and start doing something about it is if we acknowledge it. This poor girl, 21 years old, should not have to be dealing with this shit, bro. And don't hit me with that. She's making money. Oh, well, she's making money and she's famous and she shouldn't be. Bro, no, she's not allowed to have fucking feelings, bro. Like, that's crazy. Like, I gotta get death threats because I'm good at basketball and I like to talk shit and I made some money. Come on, bro. That's crazy. And by the way, this shit happens in soccer still. It still happens in soccer internationally. Brazilian player went through it. I'm sure a lot of y'all familiar with that. Obviously, it's crazy to me. Like, a sports is supposed to bring us together, dog. And I feel like I don't know. I hate to say I feel like we're moving backwards. I feel like social media really got people moving fucking backwards. And really, the media itself has not helped the situation. They've been feeding into the shit. And then the social media companies, or the social media publishers, right? The big media companies on social media feed into the fire because that is what makes them more money when they get rage clicks. And I feel like we're moving backwards. And it's sad, like, making it to the Final Four, making it to the Elite Eight after winning a national championship and knowing you're about to go get some money and play the sport that you love for a profession. Like, she should be, sad for that, but be celebrating for what's coming next. That's what it would be for most male basketball players in this situation. But because she decided to be bold enough to talk shit while playing basketball and have the audacity to talk shit to the great white hope, Caitlin Clark, once again, greatest player in the league right now. Like, no, undisputable. I have no hate or animosity, and I really hope that Caitlin Clark actually gets the national championship because she absolutely deserves it, and I think it would be great for the sport in general. But, like, that's what happened. She made the mistake of talking shit to the Great White Hope one time, even though the Great White Hope talks shit all the time. And now she's been paying for it for the entirety of her career, to the point where she can't even be on campus. Y'all know, like, she had to take online classes. She couldn't even go on campus. So I'm going to talk some of these, handle the super chats. We're going to get up out of here. Women's basketball needs Sydney McPherson from the Boondocks. I don't remember Sydney McPherson. I can't find a Guabera shirt with a cup. I don't know what that pattern is. But maybe you could arrange that as some merch. You got to DM me on Twitter about that, because I don't know what that would look like, actually. I don't know what that pattern is. And I can't even pronounce that word, so don't even ask. with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know y'all can support the show by going to Patreon. The Patreon link is in the description on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Telegram to get breaking news updates and all that good stuff. Make sure that you can support the show also by Cash App, Bitcoin. All that stuff is in the description. Subscribe to follow us on Hotspot on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Retweet. You know, I'm in a shadow ban week. Every time some crazy shit happens with Israel, I go from like 50 million impressions to like 10 million because, you know, they don't want me going viral again. But make sure I go retweet my stuff. I'm going to be on JB and Sabby show in about 1 hour on Revolutionary Blackout Network. So go check me out there. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, always remember more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.